Hey guys, I know it's been a little while, but I figured I'd go ahead and just do, a quick little update video, just talking about what I got going on and really, just rambling about things I got on my mind. I said I was gonna do a chess video, a solitaire video, so that's what I'm doing. I don't know why I said chess. I'm sitting there staring at the game. I must have been thinking about chess. Anyway, I just been thinking about some stuff lately, like maybe the way that a person would define like excellence or whatever, like a lot of times when you hear the word excellence, you think about being praised and standing in front of a big old crowd and knowing that what you just achieved is it's like the pinnacle of success, and it's also the foundation of your future endeavors. But to me, I've always assumed like that it's a transient state, a place of being that can always be redefined by those who have been there. Now, what does that mean? I guess that means that once you've been to the top, you have a choice to make. Do you continue to push forward, striving to increase and become more than what you are, or do you rest, content in your achievements and secure in your place in history? I don't know, I guess I'm not one for resting, I always try to, when I was in the army, I always tried to impart this attitude into my soldiers. The idea that what they might have done was their best, they might have done their absolute best at something, but there was always something more to achieve. And I was a little sneaky about it. I did it in two ways, both. It was subtle and it was overt. Sometimes I call them out in formation, saying I know that they could do better, finding the one little thing wrong with their uniform and making a big old scene about it. And then behind closed doors, I'd give them a good instead of an excellent on their monthly counseling statements. We had these monthly counseling statements we do where we would rate their performance in certain areas, and they had like 5 different rating scales, and excellent was the top, but right up underneath it was good. And I would always give them a good, even if they exceeded their standards. And even though they may have went above and beyond their own personal standard, and even if they went past the standards that was in the training manuals or whatever, I would give them a good. Now, why would I do something like that? It wasn't because I was trying to be some kind of cruel taskmaster. I wasn't pushing them ever onward in spite of how they toiled. Nah, I kind of did it because I knew they needed it, I just feel like standards are for the average, and you should be better than that. Here's the way I see it. That one cannot and will not achieve all that they can if they're told that what they have done is sufficient. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you can't motivate a person to do something greater if they believe that what they've done is the best. Instead, they'll just grow fat and complacent, and they just be confident in the fact that at one point they were the best, and they'll mistakenly carry that belief forward with them into future endeavors, and they won't live up to their potential. They won't maximize their abilities, and they won't apply themselves with the same fervor in the future. Excellence is all at once a fleeting moment in time and a state that cannot ever be left behind. But once the mind has bought into the belief that the individual is at the peak, at the pinnacle of his or her success, it will allow the will to falter and expose itself as the enabler of the subpar. The human mind is a dangerous thing, it's capable of lying to you and skewing your perceptions without you ever noticing that something was amiss. Now, the solution is simple, it's easy. You just don't allow yourself to be told that you're excellent. You never allow yourself to be convinced that what you've accomplished is the ultimate manifestation of your abilities. And you always strive to push beyond what you're capable of, knowing that adaptability is that one trait that the human animal has in abundance, and the trait that allows it to conquer the world and bend the laws of science and nature to its every whim idea. You can go beyond, or you can stand content in the past, watching as the people around you redefine what it means to be excellent. If that makes any sense at all. I think sometimes, in life, a lot of things are like playing a game of solitaire, for example. You just gotta be able to look ahead. You got to be able to see what's coming and be able to predict the consequences of the move that you make. And you got to be able to look at and identify how the cards are laid out in front of you. See what I'm saying? You can't always put every card in every spot. Certain cards go in certain places, and you just have to play with what you're dealt. Like, does that make any sense? You got to be able to understand what moves to make, when to make them, what order to make them in, and how to deal with the consequences of the moves that you make. There's no reset button. There's no replay. There's no loading screen. You can't go back to a quick save or a checkpoint or nothing like that. You can't do that, man. You got to be able to see the cards in front of you. You got to be able to see the moves that you're about to make, and you got to know what the next move after that move is going to be. You can't spend your time just looking at what's right in front of your face. You got to see beyond that. You understand? Like, you got to see past that. You got to see what is going to happen, what this event is going to set into motion. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't get that. And sometimes they just get frustrated and upset with what they feel like is an injustice. Instead of, just saying, oh, I did this. This is my fault because I didn't pay attention to what was going to go on later on down the road, and now I got to deal with it. And a lot of people, instead of dealing with it, just kind of fold up into a shell of themselves, You can't do that. You can't fold up into a shell. You got to keep pushing on because you're better than that. You define your own excellence. And if what you define as excellence is average, then that's okay. As long as you learn to push past that. As long as you learn to see the next move. And as long as you learn to identify that what you're doing right now is not your best. Who you are right now is not who you're going to be in the future. Where you are right now is not where you're going to be in the future. Who you were yesterday is fundamentally not even the same person that you are today. Your whole cellular structure is completely different. Your atoms, your molecules, everything is all different. It's all different. You're not the same person that you were. And I know this sounds like a whole bunch of nonsense and metaphysical garbage, and I get that. I do. A lot of people are going to hear that statement and going to be like, oh, the sergeant lost it. He done flipped his wig and went crazy. It's not about going crazy, man. It's about seeing the truth, seeing the reality. We're fluid by nature. It's what we are. And too many people forget that you are not what you were, and you will not be what you are. You control who you are. You shape what you become. Your circumstances play a part in it, but at the same time, you control your circumstances. And you do that by knowing what you're capable of and living up to that standard and exceeding it at any given opportunity. All right. That's all I got, man. I just felt like rambling. I hope y'all enjoy the holidays. I know I will. Even though we don't got much, it's cool. I got the people around me that matter. And that's really all that matters. So, hey, do me a favor too. For the holidays, don't go out and make a big show about like giving gifts and all that. Here's what I want you to do, man. I want you to take a minute to call the oldest person in your family. Call them up, the oldest living relative you got, and ask them to tell you about their childhood. Ask them to teach you anything that they might want to be able to teach you, any lessons that they can impart, any wisdom. Ask them to tell you some stories about the things they had to go through growing up and the lessons they learned and the mistakes they made. Ask them what they would do differently if they had the chance and why. And just get to know them, sharing that experience. Get to know that person. And then Go run and tell, your kids, your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, your friends, your aunties, tell anybody you can about it. Just tell them about those experiences that you learned, sharing that wisdom, and get to know your family. Do that for Christmas. Build a relationship with the people that's close to you and cherish it. That's worth way more than anything you can pick up in a store, man. I promise you, it's worth way more than anything you can buy. Just give somebody a day or two of your time, one time, and learn the lessons of a lifetime and apply them and continue to do it and use that as a foundation to build a future relationship. You'd be surprised how far I can take you. That's all I got. Y'all be safe, take care of yourselves, and have fun. That's in order, man. This is the Sarge, signing off for the holidays.